Network marketing. Network marketing is not changing. Network marketing has changed. What's up, you guys? My name is Kathy Callahan, coming in here live on my personal page tonight. And I want to chat with you guys a little bit. We're going to do something a little bit different. We're doing a sip and peek. We're going to sip some water or sip some champagne, whatever you want to sip. And we're going to peek into network marketing. We're going to talk about the industry. We're going to talk about the opportunity. We're going to talk about it because some of you have been looking, and maybe you have been in network marketing before and you don't know what's happened. You need to be aware of the changes. Maybe you don't know my story. I'm going to share a little bit of that since this is my personal page. I know I might also have some team members inviting people in, random people on my personal page seeing this. So if you're here today, please say hey. Some of you might have just come in to see what I ended up doing with my nails. I'll show you. I'll show you here in a bit. We'll wait for some more people to pop on. But I want to share with you also the network marketing company I actually decided to align with almost a year ago and why I chose this. So please say hey if you are here. If you're catching replay, let us know that you're on replay. So I like to tell the story. I'm a business coach. I'm a business coach actually in the network marketing space, but I have a long history in network marketing. And prior to that, I was a school teacher. So do we have any teachers in the house? I actually have a background in, I have my bachelor's and master's in teaching, and I taught kindergarten. So let's go back to old school network marketing. This is how most of us learned about it. This is what a lot of us have these preconceived notions or these assumptions possibly of what it is, or maybe you have these experiences because you've done it before or you've done it somewhere different. So my history of learning about network marketing, I think actually was like back in the day when I was like 18. I think I signed up with a company for a second, bought a ton of samples, didn't make a dollar and quit. And then I remember kind of getting aligned with a toy company. What's up, Tammy Stoltz? Sipping on a rush. I've got water. And it says, be brave, be kind, be you. This is from a friend, Erin. Isn't that super cute? And I might pop open the bubbly. I've got an event after this tonight too. So I remember probably in my early 20s while I was teaching, I also learned about a toy company like for kids, right? Toys for kids. And I did a party for a second. And that was kind of it, right? I didn't do any more with it. Hi, Joyce. I didn't do any more with it. I wanted to be a teacher my whole life. Actually thought about nursing or teaching. So growing up, what did you guys want to be? Like, I want to hear from you, because if you've never hung out with me on live video, a lot of this is typically done behind the scenes in my private groups. But here we are on my personal page. I like to surprise people and pick random names for prizes. It's one of my love languages is giving. So you never know what might happen tonight. So comment along. So I wanted to be a teacher or a nurse. And then I learned if you were going to be a nurse, you couldn't just like rock the babies. You might have to like draw people's blood. I'm like, I'm out. So I went the teaching route and I got my bachelor's in teaching. I got a kindergarten teaching job, went on to get my master's, and then I had a baby. And I'm curious if you can relate to this. I was 5 years into teaching and I loved my job. I loved my kindergarten students. And then I had my own baby. And I found myself looking at other people's kids almost like I'm giving all of my energy to your kids and coming home with nothing for my own. But I was like most people. This is what I was doing. I was still paying student loans. My mom was still alive at that time. And God forbid I even had the conversation in my head that I wanted to have with her in person. I don't think I want to be a teacher anymore. And that was really throwing me. So I spent that next year teaching full time while I had a baby. And I remember taking him in the carrier to school, sending him out the back door so my aunt could pick him up and take him to work, and my mom would watch the baby. And it was just crazy. And I'm like, this is not living. This is not life. Could I take some time off? Just a little bit of time. That was my thought process. So I did talk to my mom about that, and she gave me a job working in her home care agency running payroll. Now I have no accounting experience, but she taught me. And I was making $500 a month teaching or doing payroll alongside teaching that whole year when I had a new baby, teaching full time, doing payroll. And I had also found my way into a position working at a local college teaching adults how to sell on eBay. And I was also selling my own things. And I was like, I'm going to save enough money to take at least a little bit of time off. And I did that. I was still in my teaching career. I was a tenured teacher, and I got invited to a little party. So this is back in the day. So I want to share with you guys this story, because when I talk about the company I've aligned with now, I have a lot of experience in the industry of my own, initially through that. And I did home parties, and it worked really, really well. And I moved to the top 2% of the company. I ended up, driving the Mercedes on the bonus level, earning the cars and the trips. And it was incredible. I loved it. Come 2012, my mom got sick, and I had a decision to make. She passed away that same year, got sick on Valentine's Day, died on Thanksgiving Day, all in one year. And I decided I was going to take over the family business. So end of 2012, I become the owner of our family home care agency. And I learned a lot, hi Maria, about a different type of business, the kind that a lot of people respect. So hear me out on this. When I did my network marketing business, people viewed it as the cute little stay-at-home mom side gig, right? And that cute little stay-at-home side gig actually was allowing me to bring home more money than I did as a full-time master degree teacher with 6 years experience. And I had a whole lot more flexibility and choice. So I already knew the value of that, but I wasn't getting the respect that I thought the industry deserved. But that has completely changed, okay? So I go into home care, owning a home care business, and I had to build that business back up because at that time my mom had been sick. It had kind of fallen apart. I had to take out a personal loan to keep the business afloat. Blinders on, me, Rachel, the only office person left, rebuilt this business. And I remember saying, for 3 to 5 years, that's all I can do, because I am not cut out for home care. I want to go back to network marketing. I want my old life. But I learned a lot. We ended up having we passed the 50 mark, past the 50 employee mark. By the time I sold that business, we had 75 people at our last employee party. And I sold the business, and I allowed it to be a blessing to my dad, myself, my siblings, and I got to invest some money back into retirement, which I didn't have a lot of because, hello, I was a teacher. I spent the next year, hey, Cynthia, hi, what's up, girl? I spent the next year and a half thinking. And I think that some of you might be in this boat. So let me share this with you. I personally do not care what company you choose. I just want to open eyes tonight to the industry as a whole, but I will talk specifically about the company that I chose and why. The one I'm aligned with now. And so I spent the next year and a half thinking, and I want to share with you guys, I had a full-time 10-year degree teaching job. I left it for network marketing because that teaching career was sucking part of my life away. Yes, it was a steady paycheck, but I did not want to keep doing that forever. I wanted to be home with my kids, at least for a little while, right? I sold by the time we had sold the home care business, it was highly profitable. And I mean like multi-six-figure income profitable. And I remember a guy saying, you're crazy. You're crazy to sell that thing. Why wouldn't you just hire a director full-time? I'm like, I have one. And by that time, we had put systems in place and processes in place and people in place. And we were very well known in the community. But it wasn't my dream. And once again, I found myself trading something for something else. In this case, I was like, well, now I got a paycheck. But I literally had a 24/7 agency that I owned. I had a 5.5-week-old baby when my full-time scheduler quit. All the liability was on me. I'm like, this is not like that whole business owning thing, and that not my cup of tea. So I spent the next year and a half thinking. And I went back to the network marketing business that I had been with, and I loved that company. I loved my upline. I loved the products. But now it's 2019. Now it's 2019. Now it's 2019. There's my nails. I'm shaking because I'm never live on my personal page. It's not exactly what was on the picture, but do you like? So they took a picture at the nail salon. For those of you that are here for the after, these are my fake rings, by the way. I don't have real jewelry on tonight, but isn't it pretty? So I ended up going back to that network marketing company, and it was great. But this time I was pivoting online. Hi, Carla. So I want to talk to you about some of the changes that have happened in the industry since that time. What I first started noticing when I came back in 2019, I started noticing that now we can do it online. Bonus! Now, what took me 6 months to do literally the first time traveling from home to home, talking to people in small groups, I was able to cut the time in half and get to the same place that I had been in 3 months instead of 6 months. I was also able to literally reach however many countries my company was in. At that time, it was 6. I remember the first time I got online, just like we are tonight, and I was in 5 states at one time, and I was like, what? This is crazy. So where are you guys at in the world? What state? What country? And I had this big aha, okay? But I decided at that time I wanted to build online before a lot of people were building online. I saw a mass opportunity. So if you're missing out on that opportunity, I'm here to share with you guys. I don't care what you do. I was able to build through a once a week live event, once a week. And you don't have to do a live video these days, right? There's lots of ways to build. But I was able to streamline my business, simplify, and even duplicate, meet people. A lot of my team came straight through social media, and I got the big picture. Come pandemic, y'all know what happens. Now, all of a sudden, this industry, this side gig, everybody's like, oh crap, I need a side gig. People all of a sudden started looking at our industry. This is now 2020. I spent the next couple years continuing to build my business, and I fell into kind of coaching because people were just asking, how are you doing what you're doing? And I'm like, I'll teach you. One of my business coaches said, why don't you make a class out of that? I'm like, never thought about that. Another stream of income. I can teach a class on things I know. Are you guys monetizing things you know? The options are endless. I ended up then coming to a crossroads, and this is where we get to the story of the company I'm with now. I ended up in August of 2021, I get a notice on my dashboard. So I log into my company and it says there's a policy change. And it was going to limit how I could profit in my coaching business. And I had a decision to make. And I sat there thinking, because it really upset me a lot, because I had been with that company, since 2015 years, 2006 to 2021, 15 years. I had taken time off, but I never completely left. And I was like, this is why I speak out a little bit about the network marketing industry. If you guys haven't ever heard me say this, I'm like, I'm not going to be boxed in, right? You guys are sitting right now on tons of options and you get to make choice. You're an individual, an independent contractor, right? And it was a hard decision, but after a couple months, I decided to resign from that company. At the same time, I'm teaching my business classes. I had a jewelry brand I was building online. I was teaching and coaching in the space. And the CEO of the company I'm with now shows up in my inbox, not to tell me about her company, but to ask about the classes that I was teaching and if that would help her company, because her company at that time was only like 10 months old. And I was like, oh, sure, I'll tell you what I'm doing with virtual events. She told me her story. I told her my story. She sent in Ashley, the director of field development, into my 5-day class, and I got to meet them. And they sent me a box of their products as like a thank you. Okay. And I was like, gosh, this is so interesting. I just had to resign from a health and wellness company because I just made a choice. You just make a choice, right? And I said, I don't know what the future is going to hold. I'm going to try these products because I'm a product junkie. And it was April 2022. So we stay in contact. She reaches back out. She starts telling me about some growth in the company. We start chatting again. And this is the company I'm specifically with now that some of you are here to listen to. And Aspen Emery and I start chatting, and we start chatting about a company called Bravenly Global, which nobody basically knew about at that time. And I said, well, I've really been missing health and wellness a lot. I love network marketing, but I'm still coaching in the space, right? I still have my jewelry brand. I wasn't building with that company anymore, but I still had that, and I never wanted to be limited. And we had an open discussion about the way the industry is going and about what it is. It's a piece of people, right? This whole thought that people have, and maybe you've experienced this. I'm just talking openly about like, people own their people. Have you ever experienced that in network marketing? It's like, my people, dude, let my people go. gotta let my people go. And I was like, I never want to be held down like that again. I don't want to opt into, I need options that I can still build my coaching business. And that, I don't know, I still run a summer camp in my backyard. And I loved the ability to do network marketing, to team build, to share products that I love, to connect and build communities. I loved earning trips. I loved having a leader. I loved having people to support me, not just only being the owner of the business, because that was hard. When I owned the home care agency, when I do my coaching business, like I'm the top of it, right? And I missed people pouring into me. Do you know what I'm saying? So we had this open discussion. End of May, shout out to my team for those of you who are here. I signed up, I think like May 27th. Officially, it was June 1st on the paperwork. And I started sharing. And I want to share with you guys tonight a little bit about the industry as a whole and what's happening and some things for you to consider. But what I saw in this company inside of this little sip and peek, let's sip. Let's sip some water. Hold on, I need some water. Cheers. Cheers. And I learned about not just another network marketing company, because there's lots of them out there, right? Lots of companies you can align yourself out. Bye, Natalie. Hi, Donna. Lots of companies you can align yourself with, but you simply get to make a choice. You need to do your due diligence. And I had to ask myself, like, what matters to me? And I knew I aligned with health and wellness. It's smart business, consumable products. And I kind of have this whole do one good thing, not be perfect, right? But I always wanted something that was good and healthy for me and my family. I wanted something that built people, and I admired people who had people first. And I found this in the company that I was starting to learn about, and that's why I decided to align. And that word alignment was one of our very first discussions. So ask yourself, maybe it's your full-time job. I started thinking, I'm not in alignment, right? Or I wasn't in alignment. And that's why I had such a hard time continuing to build. Hi, Jacinda. I just saw your nail video. And I realized I never again want to compromise anything that's important to me. So the more that I learned about Aspen, the more that I learned about how they were building, I said yes before the craziness that started happening. Within 2 weeks, we had a very large team come over from another company. They were completely out of alignment, and I'm talking multi-million-dollar earners who decided to make a shift over to Bravenly. And they stepped out of their comfort zone and they left. And that's a scary thing to do. I didn't have that decision to make. I had already left, right? And I watched this, and within 2 weeks, there was like this mad momentum of people coming in. We're like, what's going on here? What's different? This is a faith-based company. This is a health and wellness company. We're not doing anything drastically different in the sense that we all do what we do. We get in conversations with people. We share things that we're passionate about. We let them make the decision. And when they make the decision, we partner with them. Now, I'm certainly not a person who's here to like drop a whole bunch of like features, and I don't like to go down the whole hype route. So I will preface this with, you know what's important to you. Okay. And I knew what was important to me. So looking at this, I needed leadership that mattered. Like I knew they needed to be in alignment. A faith-based company was a huge, huge deal to me. And I love to be the start of something. I was so thrilled to be able to be part of the team, working with the CEO, working with the leaders, being a part of the start, but not at the very beginning. Some of you have been here since day literal one, but I love that it was still ground floor. Over the last 8 months, it's been a freaking whirlwind. I got to go to a conference. They actually asked me to speak on conference stage, which was crazy, about virtual events. And when I got to that conference, it was September. Now, I'd already been signed up since June. But you know how you hear about the things and you're signed up with the thing, but you're like, is it really a thing? So I go to this event, this in-person event, and we rent a house in Orlando, Florida, and I got to meet the heart of the company, the people who said yes from day one. I got to meet the CEO. I got to meet the field director. I got to meet some of the very first brand partners that said yes before they even really knew what was happening, right? And it solidified, because I get chills thinking about this. There's so many ways to make money. Don't compromise your values. I'm not dictating what your values are, but what matters to you. So not only did I need solid people, solid leadership, solid opportunity, I needed people with experience, but I also needed a compensation plan that could pay. Because truth is, I'm a single mom. I hold not the majority, I hold all the income of my household. And even when I wasn't a single mom, I was a large part, the majority of the income, right? I need to be able to not only for me have a profitable business, but I need my team to win. And from my experience of being a business coach in the industry, being in the industry, I had this issue, and y'all may not have this issue, but I had this issue with network marketing because it was like, this is what we thought, right? The person at the top makes all the money, and all the people at the bottom, they don't make the money, but they're doing all the hard work. And I needed to find a company that recognized the people, that paid the people, that rewarded the people. And they also had something called a placement suite. Now, I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about this on here. If I'm not, Aspen will be like, Kathy, you can't talk about that. I think I can talk about this. This was very, very unique to me because it was I had heard about these kind of things, but it was a way for me to help my team build. We have this thing called layered leadership where I may not have to be, I may be the one who recruits people, but I may not have to be the only one to support the people. We can layer our team and give them multiple levels of leaders. That allowed me to do what I'm great at, which I love to recruit. I love to get into conversations, but it's hard to support all the people. And that was unique. The pay plan was different. The ambassador was different because you're seeing a lot with affiliate marketing right now. And you hear people looking for multiple streams of income, but a lot of them don't want to team build. A lot of them just want to be product consumers and get a great price. And they just want to share. They just want to tell their best friend about some deal they got. And with our ambassador program, they could actually do that. They had a share link. It was kind of like when you're like, hey, friend, I got a HelloFresh gift card. Who wants one? And HelloFresh is like, hey, you refer people, we'll give you a credit. I started seeing everything that I needed in place for me in this company. Come September at that conference, there's another big announcement. And there is a man and wife, Sylvia and Garrett, who move into the field over with Bravenly. And we start watching. He's the president of the Network Marketing Professional Association. People can correct me if I said that wrong. He was a CEO of a company and coming over here looking at this company. And we went from $1 million growth to $8 million in this last year. And then just last week, you guys heard what happened. One of the top people in the coaching space, one of my friends in the network marketing and coaching space, Kimberly Olson, joins Bravenly Global. And I'm like, what? She retired from a very, very, very well-known network marketing company. And I never told her about this one because I made the mistake that a lot of people do. And I made assumptions and I worried what they would think of me. And I didn't tell anybody. And I get into her inbox. I'm like, hello, you're with Bravenly? She's like, yes. Are you? I'm like, yes. Can I ask you a question? Why? I'm just curious. What did you see here? She tells me the story of how she was helping a student, find her new home, and she hadn't heard of Bravenly yet because it's becoming a household name now. 2 years, 3 years, right? Where are we at? 2.5 years? Where are we at exactly on the timeline? And now we start to see the network marketing industry has changed. This isn't just about $50 movie money. It can be. It's not just about using products that can change your health. It can be. It's not just about the stay-at-home mom who, was bored and needed some community. It can be, but now we're seeing people who were successful elsewhere, but found something here that was different. And that is the ultimate success when you're in alignment, right? With the people, with the opportunity, and it can be a profitable business. So I found my way here. I'm supporting my team through this. I don't talk on my personal page a lot about this company because as a business coach, I will tell you, I very much believe you have to find what is the fit for you because the last thing I'll do is drag people through. The last thing I'll do is harass people to sign up. The last thing I'll do is show up in your inbox and be like, what is wrong with you? This is the best thing since sliced bread, right? But if you're looking, right, I can help you figure out what might be a great fit for you, and it may not be with me. Jacinda Bell's with a different network marketing company. Maria's with a different network marketing company. Donna's with a different network marketing company. Carla's with a different network marketing. These are students in my classes. Tammy, same as me. She's part of the team that I'm on. Joyce, same as me. Because what we align on is what is good for you. What values matter to you, what interests you, what gets you excited. But I will tell you guys, as a whole, if you've never given network marketing a chance because you think old school grandma doing her network marketing business, old school home parties, harassing your friends and family, you are missing the boat. We invite you, whether it's you ask me or you ask someone that's talked to you about an opportunity, to get the information. Do your due diligence, reach out, ask what makes it different. More importantly, let that person ask you what would matter to you. What do you need out of this? $500 a month, a community of people who support you, products that can help you look and feel your best. I don't know what it is, right? But I invite you guys to think, sharing a little bit of my story tonight, I invite you guys to think, is there something missing? Maybe it is some income. Maybe it is you can't pay your house bills. I don't know what it is. Maybe for you, you've got it set, but you don't know who else out there has no clue how to pay for their baby's bills tomorrow, right? And part of the fuel for me is I could just keep doing my coaching business. That is my biggest focus, is my coaching business. Why was I continued to be drawn back to network marketing? What was that? It was that community that lifts me up, but it was also the opportunity to be able to help others, because that was my start. That was my start into business. And I started thinking, what if Kim would have never told me? What if she would have thought, oh, that girl doesn't need it? In fact, I was like the worst guest ever. I was late. I didn't want to be there. I was in a bad mood. I'm like, let's just get through this thing. But she ended up sharing a little bit of her business opportunity. And that was the company that I was with. And I still love that company. It just was something that I couldn't stick with because of the change, right? I just couldn't. And so who knew around the corner that this was there? So be open to the opportunities. Don't ever think someone's trying to convince you. If you're convicted, like I was, that I don't want to do this every day. I don't want to own this business anymore. I don't want to be this teacher anymore. It's a scary thing. It's uncomfortable to think, I've got to go tell my mom I don't want to be a teacher anymore. I've got to go tell my husband I'm going to start one of these side gigs. Just trust in me. But it's super low cost. It's super low risk. And what it takes is somebody who's passionate, somebody who's buried a part of themselves and said, I know I'm made for more. Never thought I'd have this kind of a vehicle that I'd be driving, right? Network marketing. But if we get over it, you guys are going to see why people are starting to look at this industry. You're also going to see why some companies are closing. Part of coaching is that I've watched 4 companies close. I know what it takes for a company to be stable, for it to be an opportunity. And it's important that you guys do your homework and you don't choose to stay stuck. Okay. So if you are looking, if you're unsure, reach out. I will connect you. I'm a great connector. If you want to know more about what I do, I'll tell you what I do. If one of my students' businesses would be, you might say, Kathy, health and wellness ain't my thing. I like jewelry. I like nails. Girl, you can go build a business selling dog poop these days. Actually, no, I don't know of a company doing that, but dog food, you could. So what lights you guys up? What would get you excited to wake up in the morning and go to work? And if you're excited to get up every morning and go to work and you have control of your life and you've got everything you need, one question I could ask you is, even if you've got that 6-figure job and you're a doctor, what happens when you quit working? What happens when you decide not to show up to work tomorrow? Do you have a paycheck? One of the things I love in the industry is that we can build people and we can leverage time, resources, technology, and we can build teams. Okay. Fertilizer. Can you build a fertilizer team? So you guys, as we close out today, I just invite you, if someone invited you here, get a more specific, detailed answer as to the questions you're asking. Watch a complete Meet Bravenly if that's the company you want to take a look at. And you can go through the complete CEO's presentation. I'm here sharing my version of my story to inspire you guys to open your eyes, to invite you to take a look, because there are people looking. And this company, like what's going to happen this year, is insane. It's insane what's already happened. The people that are aligning with us, yes, it's validity, right? But we already had the vision. We already had the resources, the systems, the people. So the validity of these, these big high earners coming in, it's exciting. But don't forget, this is an opportunity that was made for anybody. And that's exactly why I came here. Okay. All right. Let's close out on this sip and peak. Let's close out on this sip and peek by asking you, if you did get invited by someone who is on my team and you're specifically trying to learn a little bit about Bravenly, reach out and be like, I need to know this. Some of you are like, how much does it pay? What are the products? What's the website? How's, is there all those details? And some of you are just like, I'm discontented. I'm tired. I'm looking for something else. I want positive people that I can collaborate with. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm tired. I know what I don't want to do anymore. It's all of this. I'm ready for something new. And walk through that discomfort, because anything new is uncomfortable, but your comfort zone has kept you where you are. Okay. So shout out to my new nails. Shout out to my new nails. And let's pick a random name. If your name pops up on the screen, I don't care who you are. Nobody jumped up there. Cynthia Height. Woo woo. Cynthia Height is a network marketer. She is a student in one of my classes. I just won a prize from her company. She sells skincare and makeup, which I don't. And I'm like, I need mascara. What else did I say? I wanted some foundation. My big things are lips, mascara, draw on my eyebrows, something else I asked for. So there's lots of resources and lots of incredible people out there. Align yourself with the people who have your best interests at heart, not theirs. Step out of your comfort zone. Go be amazing. Turn your excuses into your reasons, and go take massive imperfect action, and just go get into the conversation with the person who invited you here. All right, you guys. Cynthia, reach out. I'll send you some swag, girl. I'll send you my favorite water bottle, or maybe a bottle of champagne. All right, cheers, you guys. Good night.